Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and wow, get ready to be rocked by the rock. Anyway, not the rock of the world, the rock, God's spiritual rock, which I'm talking about being Jesus. So anyway, I'm back. I got some incredible stuff to share with you. This is a part one of a two-part. I'm going to get into this. This is some really incredible stuff the Lord's put upon me, and I am so excited to share this with you. A lot of these different subject matters on this timeline of these different days, they're gonna just line up to this time frame like no other time, like no other year. It's phenomenal. And then the timeline I showed on my last video, if you get a chance to look at that, I'm just going to touch on it for a brief moment here on this video. Go back to my last video. I'll put a link in the description box below to watch that, so you get a little bit idea what these alignments that happened and everything. But again, I'm going to talk about this a little bit here. But if you get a chance, watch it on that last video. A link in the description box, I'll put it in here. But man, the Lord has me on a different tear because of the things I found in iPad Goat and some incredible stuff and how it lines up with the exact dates that are coming up in February here. So I can't, anyway, let's just get right to it, okay? How about we do that? So again, like I've said before, my main motto is having no part in the worthless deeds of darkness, but instead exposing them. And that comes from Ephesians 5:11. Now, I have a lot of religious people or Christians so-called or whatever say, oh, you don't say enough scriptures and all that. Well, I do say them at times, but my main focus and what the Lord's had me focus on is warning of these events coming and predictive programming. Things are in all the media that you see for years, for a long time. And the scriptures are, of course, the foundation of my soul and the foundation of my life, and the Lord himself, the Lord Jesus Christ himself, that I know personally. But he's pretty much showed me that the more I bring in a lot of the, scriptures and things and get into super amount of doctrine and things, people argue, people debate too much, and they can't help themselves. It's really kind of annoying. So he said, I want you to keep it to this and these matters and these things so much. We bring up scriptures and things as it's in context and things for different reasons. But I come off in a different way, because also I want to reach out to the people who don't believe in God, or maybe maybe you have bad experiences with Christians and all kinds of things. So there's a number of reasons why I present it the way I do, and super religious, ultra religious nutballs won't understand that. Okay, and they'll never understand that. And I believe, like the Lord's told me years ago, real is refreshing, and so I come to you being completely real as I can be, and honest, and then let the chips fall where they may, and let people see if the Lord's in me and if He's really working in me, if He is showing me these things or not, and if these things come to pass or not. So again, my name is The Exalted Lamb, but on this Telegram channel that I have available, I'm actually gonna, I think the Lord just told me to include that link in the description box as well. I haven't for a while, but I'll go ahead and include a link in the description box below as well if you want to sign up for Telegram. And I send out updates and things, different things, and some Gematria stuff I do and things like that about some current events and things like that sometimes. And sometimes you won't get notification of my videos because they'll turn them off. YouTube will turn them off. And I've had many people tell me, I already knew that, and hundreds of people tell me, email me, or even put in the comments that their notifications turned off by YouTube, all that stuff. The only way you can really for sure get notified, especially as we get super close, they might stop me from even making this video. I could be recording this video right now and they won't let me upload it because we're so close, or who knows. Or they have new requirements that I can't speak at all. I mean, who knows? I can't say any truth anymore. Who knows? So you get notifications through Telegram, and it's through your phone number, through your cell phone or whatever. So, but do it or not. It's up to you. So I'm just making it available. Now I'm going to dive right into this. Okay, so with the rule of can I talk? Rewind that. Okay, with the rule of Kalel in Freemasonry, basically what it states is the Kabbalistic rule of Kalel states that the one digit can be added to or subtracted from the Gematria value of a word without affecting its value. This seems to modern ears to be a cheat. However, the Kabbalists explain the rule by pointing out that for them, one was not a number. The monad symbolizes the divinity and could come and go as he pleased, adding nothing and taking nothing away. Okay, so I mean, I take one away sometimes, but usually what I do, what I've seen that what this, I think ultimately this means, you take one away to add it somewhere else, in the same thing. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay. But also I rarely add a one. It looks, yeah, it looks like cheating. So I try not to do that. So I try to find things that are exactly on the money by the exact one. I mean, not even off by one digit. Okay. So then it's even more convincing. So I don't try to play that game or whatever. So hopefully that makes sense. And then I want to get into, again, like I've shared before, I'm going to get into a little bit of a teaching mode here on this video as well, more than normal, because there's some basic things I need people to understand, and some things I haven't covered for a while that some of you don't know, and especially a lot of new people don't know. So for example, 0 is hiding O. This is all about hiding things. So if you think about this, if you got an enemy that wants to control you ultimately, the whole world, everything with a mark, and to make everybody a slave and all that stuff, to have a technocracy where one person is in control of everybody, ultimately that person's completely overtaken by the devil. Okay, and that will happen at some point, and that's in my timeline when lightning falls from heaven, Barack Obama falls from heaven. That's the devil being kicked out of heaven and going right into a dead body of Barack Obama, okay, and then reanimating him into this false Christ, okay, that's going to be the savior to the world, false savior to the world, right? So if you believe, if you understand that, that's all predictive programming. The things that are put in front of your face in media, mass media, and things are ultimately to get to that point. Okay, so he is the O. He is the O hidden in the 0. Okay, for example, I'll give you that's very close to home. Well, first of all, I'll say this, that so if 0 is hiding O, then O is the 15th letter of the alphabet, or if, to make it super quick, sometimes in things I'll show you here in this video, we'll make the O 6 or 15. It depends, because 1 plus 5 is 6, and that's called compressing numbers. So if you have 15, you compress the numbers, you have 6. So O is either 15 or 6. Hopefully that makes sense. And then, for example, with Barack Obama, Barack Insane Obama, I call him many names. He was supposedly born in Hawaii, and that's area code 808. Well, but most people say 808. Hey, why do you say that? Because that's been predictably programmed in you to say 808 instead of what it actually is, 808. Very few people say 808. Most people say, or let's say you're going to go to college for the first time, you're going to go to English 101, or room 101, or whatever it is. Most people don't say 101. It's also, they made it very easy to say O instead of saying 0. Okay, even though you see that O is in 0. See how O is in 0? It's all little tricks. These are all the tricks of the English language that was designed to trick you and to program you. That's why when you watch a program on TV, you're being programmed. Okay, that's not a coincidence either. So, for example, he was born in Hawaii. This reveals the date of his birth also, because again, 0 is O, so 808 is 808. So that could be 868. And then 8, and then 6 plus 8 is 14. With the rule of Kalel, we can just take 1 away, or like I've said many times, 1 can be a slash, or you take it away, and then what do we have? August 4th, his birth. And it just so happens to be the area code of his birth and the date of his birth, and that just happens to be Obama, please. Okay, not even this. Okay, another thing I'm going to share is every number that you add 9 to stays the same. I've shared this in a lot of my videos, but I haven't really explained it in a while. So when you take any number, like let's take 1, you add 9 to it, it becomes a 10, right? Well, now we don't count zeros when you talk about whole numbers, so that becomes a 1 again. See how anything you add 9 to stays the same? So you add 9 to 1, and it becomes 10, then take away the zeros, back to 1. And that works on every single number. Even on a super large number, you can take the 9s out. Sometimes I'll use certain 9s to add up to a particular number, and then you need those. And other times you can get rid of the 9s to kind of, it's almost like chipping away the rock to get to the, to the sculpture or something. You're chipping away the 9s to get to the real meat of what it's sharing. Okay, so that's kind of like how it is. Or then, for example, take a number like 23, like in the Revelation 12 sign, the 23rd of September, and then you have 23, and then you add 9 to that. Well, 23 plus 9 is 32. Well, that stayed the same. It just switched the numbers. 3 and 2 just switched to 2 and 3 switch to 3 and 2. But the value is the same in a sense. So they look at these numbers as individual numbers, and then when they're combined in different ways, they become other numbers. But they can be split apart and added any time, and that's all part of the whole, the control and the deception. So okay, let me keep going here. So then let me talk about compression and decompression. So compression is, again, this example of 23rd of September, when you compress numbers, you're going to make another number. So 3 plus 9 compressed, okay, you're going to make another number. So in this situation, and then what people wouldn't suspect, as well as the birth of the Antichrist, this being a foretelling of the real number. So the 23rd of September is really 2, and then now we're going to add these two, which you wouldn't expect. 3 plus 9, the compressing of these two numbers equals 12. So the real date, and it's backwards, is 21st of February. Okay, so that's how the Revelation 12 sign, for example, on 9/23/2017, even the years is hiding the year 2024, 2017. Okay, and I'll explain that another time here on part 2. But it's hiding 21st of February backwards. See how that's working? But that's an example of compressing two numbers together to become another number. Okay, now decompression. Let's take this 23 now. 23, decompression, you're going to decompress a number. So we have 2, and then we're going to decompress the 3. 3 is made up of 1 and 2. So now watch. So 23, for example, Obama, when he was supposedly in high school, he was a basketball player supposedly. I think some of it's all not true. Some of it's true, some of it's not true. But he wore the number 23. Just like LeBron James wore the number 23, Michael Jordan wore the number 23. It's all about the birth of the Antichrist. And so you look at 23 and you go, okay, that's 23. Well, is it really 23? No. 3 decompressed into 1 and 2, and that becomes, again, 21st of February or 21st of February. You can do it either way on this one. 21st of February or 21st of February. Actually, this either way on this one, or this one. See that? How this is 21st of February? So you see how 923 or just 23 by itself, because you can even throw away 9. Anything you got 9 to stays the same and get rid of that. However you want to mass 23, and then 23 ultimately is 212 or 21st of February. Okay, that's how that works. It's crazy. But that's how decompression and compression work. Okay, so again, February, when I was on December of last year, I've seen all these stuff for December, like I have for a few years, of course. But, I thought, okay, yes, it could be December or it could be February. Why February? Because February is the 12th month on the Roman calendar. And we're talking about ultimately, in the Bible says, it's the revised Roman Empire is the government that will reign during the tribulation. Okay, it's the revised Roman Empire. Of course, it's the Roman calendar. So February is the 12th month. For example, like I've shared, December is Decem, which is really 10, not 12. And then you go backwards from there, Novem is really 9 and not 11. So each of our months from December, going backward November, going backward October, going backward September, those are actually off by 2 months. And that's because they can program you either way. For example, with the February, can program you with a 2 or a 12. Or even in the actual idea of February being 2nd and 12th month, you literally have 212, the birth of the Antichrist. 21st of February, 21st of February. See how that is? Okay, and then, so this is the timeline that whatever the timeline ends up being, hopefully it's this February, in different ways. In some ways, maybe not so hopefully, but for a lot of people that are looking for all this, including me, February is hopeful in different ways, of course. So this is the timeline here of different events. So in the sky, basically, or in the celestial signs and things, as the Bible talks about looking for, because they mark the Moedim, the sun, moon, and stars and everything, the appointed times that I'm going to talk about, and I've talked about in my last video a little bit. And I'm not going to get into so much. I thought I was going to go right into it in this video, but the Lord has me to talk about some other subjects and some other things that show the exact dates and stuff in some of these things that I've been looking at for years. So anyway, but in the sky, we have a 14-day process. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a second set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, but then on Earth, we have an 8 and 8 set. So we have a pre-day and we have a post-day. So that makes that 7 plus 7 an 8. So 1 plus 7 is 8, and then 7 plus 1 is 8. So that's an 88. So the 88 miles per hour, like in Back to the Future, or if you roll a lot of games have two die or dice, then those each have each die has 8 corners. You roll 2 die, like for roulette or something, and that's 88. Or like the normal piano has 88 keys. There's all kinds of things in life that are hidden with 88s. And then in the sky, it would be 7 and 7, 7 sevens, or 777. And I'll show you that here in a second. But there's reason for this. And then throughout this timeline, we have these different events. We have events that happen on the first day. This is considered, these are 2-day events, but they're really 1 day, because it's how you see it from the time zones. So, for example, something happens for me in northern Colorado, where I'm at, and then it's the next day, but it's happening at the same time, but technically it's the next day in Australia. So, but it's the same day. So that makes sense? So it's 1 day, but it's 2 time zones or 2 different days. So that's how it shows up. So this first day shows up as 2-9, depending on the time zone, either 2-9 or 2-10. And then this day, these days, for example, 2-13, 2-14. So we have Valentine's Day and the day before. We also have this day right here, which is going to be an event that happens in Ukraine, which is going to be a Nuked goes off in Ukraine's, and then that's going to be the day it happens, and that's going to be the day it's reported. So we literally have an overlapping day between this attack that happens here and the attack that happens here, and there's an overlapping day. And I'm going to get into that in a second. And then we have all these other events I'm going to get into. And then, by the way, all these events in this whole timeline are pinned to the top of comments. Now they are. For a few weeks, and in my past few videos, I haven't been able to do that because they were telling me I had to scan my face and do facial recognition to verify I'm a person, even though I've been on YouTube for 5+ years. But now I found a way that they'll accept it now. Not to get into all that right now, and I don't have to do a facial scan or whatever. It's just really messed up because they want to track everybody. Eventually, when they go out for this first attack day, they're going to basically send people out to grab certain people that are threats. And I won't be around. But anyway, I'll be transformed and other people will transform and we won't be where they can find us. Anyway, and that's a long story right now. But anyway, so we're getting into, now again, here's the stuff I shared a little bit in my last video. So we have the revelation, we have the birth of Jupiter out of Virgo right here between the legs, and that happened on 9/9/2017. Then there's the 7 + 7 days, and that's mirrored over here on the 7 + 7 days, like I showed you in my timeline. We have a pre-day, like right here, that's the pre-day. This is actually 2-9 and 2-10, because it depends on how you look at it from this whole perspective as well. But 2-9 to 2-10, it starts right here, and they have 7 + 7 days going into 223 and 224. I just made it 224 to make it a little bit more, it kind of fit there anyway. So these are different events that have happened. So there was an alignment on the Revelation 12 sign of 6 planets in the sun. In fact, I don't know of anybody that talks about Saturn right here as a 6th planet or a 5th planet. So there's 5 planets in the sun, and then we have another 5 planets in the sun that went over the Golden Gate Bridge in November 9th of 2019. That's 777 days apart. We have another alignment I'm calling the Eva Golden Birth alignment, which happened alignment, and that was on December 24th, 2022. And then another 777 days later, we have the Aquarian alignment that's going to be exactly on, again, 2-9 and 2-10 right here. It's going to go right through Aquarius. And that's the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and that's literally 2-9 and 2-10, and then we have 7 + 7 days, and then that's the end. Boom. Okay, so anyway, just real quick, just cover that real quick for people that don't know. And then from Revelation 12 sign to the beginning of this, we have 333 weeks, and I can remember I was contacted by a 32nd degree Freemason. And I'm not going to get into his name and everything right now and all that and all those details like I shared before, but I just try to keep it brief here. But I remember him saying, when I talked to him at different times for like a month and a half or something like that, he said their 2 favorite numbers in Freemasonry were 3 and 33. So now if I think about it, I was thinking about recently, the Lord brought it to my mind, 3 and 33 is 333. So 3 and 33 is 333, and that's exactly how many weeks from Revelation 12 sign to the beginning of this timeline when everything changes. It's called the transition of the beginning of sorrows to the tribulation. And the Lord's calling it the height of sorrows. He's calling it the height of sorrows to me. He's been sharing that with me. This is called the height of sorrows, this this 14-day, it's 14/16 day process. So 14 here, but then there's a pre and a post day, and it's registered on Earth as being an 8+8 day process. Okay, so anyway, so I'm going to just focus on a couple different time frames and some information. There's so much I could share with you. I have a massive, huge bag of stuff I could pull out, kind of like Carrot Top. I could pull out this thing and this Who's He Watch It and this thingamajig and this thing and show you all this stuff that I have. But the Lord says, I want you to focus on this particular line of information and stuff that's going to, I think, blow you away in a different way, and some other things and some symbolism and some numbers to show people what I want them to see right now, and not so much on that timeline, but it's there. And by the way, this timeline, in a sense, if this is right, okay, again, I'm going by the best I know by what the Lord shows me. I'm not saying thus saith the Lord on everything. I'm saying that the Lord tells me things and shows me all this stuff, but ultimately to the exact time, I'm not saying this is it. I'm saying there's a good massive chance. I'm saying probably this is the most possible chance I've ever seen on the whole time I've ever been doing this. And since I've known about this, since I got dreams and visions 8.5, almost 9 years ago, to let me know that all this stuff was coming. This is probably 99.9999% chance in my mind that this is going to happen. And that's all I can say. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, and I'm not prophesying anything as far as dates or anything. I'm just saying that this is my research and what the breadcrumbs the Lord gives me, and that's all He can give anybody about these subjects, is that it's all coming together, and it looks like it's locked down for this time with this. And then now with what I'm going to show you with these details, with the numbers and symbols and everything, it's crazy. I can't wait to show it. I can't wait to get into it. Okay, so here we go. So back in 2020, former WWE wrestler Kamala Harris dies at 70. Okay, and his name was Kamala. And then literally one day later in 2020, the next day, and that was August 10th, reported by CNN. The next day is reported by CNN, Joe Biden picks Kamala Harris as his running mate. Kamala and Kamala, same, spelled the same exactly, and then they're both Harris. And now, is that a coincidence to you? Do you believe in coincidences? And if they're really off the chart coincidence, that they're just so big, such a massive coincidence that something like this, are you one of those people that believe, are you one of those people that is of the movie age where you can watch a movie and there's just so many coincidences to make a storyline that it's ridiculous, but you still believe it? Is that how you believe in this world and all these things that you watch on TV and movies and everything? Do you believe in all these massive coincidences that's not programmed, it's not guided? Is this not that it's not organic, or do you believe it's organic? Do you believe it just happened that way? No, it's ridiculous. If you actually believe that, I'm sorry, that's unfortunate, but that's not the case. You got to use your brain a little bit and maybe even tap into a spiritual mind that comes from Christ. I mean, from Jesus. So this is not a coincidence. And so what they're telling you, and I'm going to show you what they're telling you, is that Kamala and Kamala here are related. There's some relation there, and they're both named Harris. There's some going, and they just both happen to be black. I mean, I don't think so. Okay, and I'm going to show you they're related. So you have a black female and a black male. You have a number of things going on. They represent Obama, and I'm going to show you why. So first of all, Kamala, I get them confused on that. Kamala Harris, the vice president right now, okay, that gives you a clue when I'm going to decipher this, that it should be spelled more like Kamala. It's Kamala or Kamala. See how this is Kamala, and then this is the same letters, but just rearranged a little bit. It's Kamala. See how that Kamala. See how that is? Okay, that's giving you a hint. Literally, demons are giving people a hint on how to decode this, and people have no idea. And the Lord showed me this. Now, this is what each of these equal. K equals 11, MC equals 13, A equals 1, for example, all the way across here, okay? Now, I'm going to show you what this really is. Now, in light of also... I'll wait till I show you this. This is incredible. This stuff is incredible. And this is going to be a whole video is going to be on incredible things like this. You got to watch the whole thing. It's going to blow your ever-loving mind, okay? That how this equals all this is impossible. Okay, and I want you to get this. This is impossible for all this to line up to everything I'm talking about, to this timeline, to set these dates, exact symbolic dates of these events on particular days of the timeline and in February and all these exact days is incredible. Okay, so this, it's not a coincidence. So now let's follow this. So okay, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Bring that down. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Bring that down. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Again, we're compressing numbers now. Okay, and now there's an example of a decompression. Again, this is all hidden in here, so you got to learn how to do this. And I've been guided by the Lord to do this. So we're decompressing 12 and making it 10 and 2, because 10 plus 2 equals 12. Okay, and then we're getting rid of this 9. We're chipping away the 9s to get to the, the sculpture underneath, in a sense. 1 plus 8 is 9, getting rid of that, okay? Now, in a sense, sometimes you got to know, be guided how, and know this stuff. I know this stuff now to see what you need to see, and so I'm seeing this stuff more. So, but in this situation, we're going to do 1 plus 18 is 19, boom. Now watch, boom, and now we're going to pull the rest of this down. 1 plus 8 is 9, and then right here, we're going to pull this 9 down. But see how this is 9, 1? We're going to just switch it. You can do that. Here and there, you can switch one number with another number right by it, okay? So 9, 1 is going to be switched to 1, 9 right there, okay? Now watch this. Now we're going to go backwards, because I've shared for many years that they do everything backwards, upside down, and backwards, and opposites. So now we're going to do this backwards. Sometimes it's forward, but it's very rare. Usually it's backwards, upside down, and backwards, or opposites. So now we're going to go backwards. But we're now going to translate this, what the Lord showed me. This 9 is now I, because I is the 9th letter. And this 19 is S, because S is the 19th letter. And again, we have it again. 9, 19, 9, 19. Right there. Boom. Oh, that's Isis backwards. Oh, remember a couple years ago in February? I've shared in my videos since February of 2021. I got a dream. The Lord said Isis is born on 210. Now watch this. Isis backwards. Now what does this end up being? Ready? 2, 10, 2, 2, 4. So Isis is born on 2/10/2024. Is that a massive off-the-charts coincidence? Did I make it up in any way? No, I followed the numbers. I told you how it works, and it worked out that way. I'm going to show you a bunch of these that are going to blow your mind. If if you're super skeptical and can't see the forest for the trees, then you're not going to get that, of course, obviously. And if you're super religious or just whatever, you can't, then of course. But if you have any kind of discernment whatsoever, you're going to see that this is ridiculous. Now watch this. Not all this. Watch this. So Kamala Harris becomes, this is uncanny. The Lord just said, now look at becomes, he said. This is what he said. He said, look at becomes. B is 2, E is 5, C is 3, all that. Now watch. 2 comes down, 5 comes down, 3 comes down, 1 comes down. 5, this happens many times. 5 plus 1 plus 3 is 9. I see 5, 1, 3s many times, and they group them like this sometimes on purpose. Okay, and then this grouping also, ES is common in a lot of words, ES. 5 and 19 is 24. So now watch. What do we have here immediately? Boom. We have 2. 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 9. Now, I could have got rid of that 9, but I knew there was something there. Okay, but even if I got rid of that 9, it would still be the year. But anyway, but I didn't have to. Or if I left the 9, we'd have 9 plus 9 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9 again. Okay, but anyway, 2, 9, 24. And that's one of the days. Is 2. So basically, what happens is, depending on your time zone, if you're on the West Coast, it'll be 2/9, and then if you're on the East Coast, it's going to be 2/10, or happen kind of late 9 on 2/9, and then report it on 2/10, or one or the other, or both, basically. Okay, so this is Kamala Harris becomes, and that was 2/10, and this is 2/9, and believe it or not, watch president. President, the word president was designed for this time. I know this sounds crazy. I'm going to tell you this is what the Lord told me. President was designed for this time, and it was to put out there that the president, Stinky B.O., the 44th president, was going to be, his birthday was going to be on this day, and it also was going to represent Kamala Harris as well. Kamala Harris, whatever. So watch. Let's go back here. So we have these, that's what these represent, these numbers here, of course. Now watch, we're going to go We take the 1 down, and we're going to switch the 6 and the 1 to 1 and 6. Bring the 8, bring the 5 still, bring the 1, get rid of this 9, 9, get rid of this 9, 4 plus 5 is 9, get rid of that, okay? Now, what? This is the next thing we're going to do. Boom. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 6 plus 8 is 14, plus 5 is 19, okay? Now watch. Boom. Now see this 1 over here and this 1 right here. We're going to bring those down just so you can kind of see them a little better. This 1 right here and 1 right here is going to be 2. And then we'll have this 4 bringing down and this 20 brought down. Do you see what's going on right here? Boom. 2, 1 plus 9 is 10. And then we have, I'm bringing this 20, I'm going to put it over here. I'm bringing this 24 and put it over here. Because you can move things a little bit, but it's the same exact numbers. I did not change the numbers at all. I just got rid of some 9s, like I said, because anything you had 9 2 stays the same. And then I just move a couple digits around here and there as you're allowed to. And because I've learned over time, the Lord showed me how they do things. And you literally have 2, 10, 20, 24, the exact date. And this is going to keep on coming. And then what's going to happen? Something's going to happen to Joe Biden. I'm guessing either he's going to become too senile to be able to be president. They're going to pull him out, or he's going to be eliminated. Okay, one of those two. I'm not sure. I'm bouncing between the two. So I see some stuff on both. I'm not sure because he's got that Tourette's. No, he's got there's several people examples out there, like Bruce Willis is losing his mental faculties and he's looking more like Joe Biden. And then you got Leslie Nielsen, who it was in movies, and literally he was a guy named Frank Drebin as a character. And Drebin, I've showed how it's almost exactly equal to Biden. It's a type of anagram of Biden. Drebin is a type of anagram of Biden, and he looks all stupid and makes all these stupid mistakes, and a naked gun and everything like that. And that's an example of Biden in the media. So you're already programmed to this idea. Okay, so anyway, that's what these letters equal. Okay, boom. And we're going to get rid of this 9, and we're going to get rid of this 5 and this 4, which equal 9. Okay, now we're going to take 1 and get rid of the 0, because the zeros don't count. 1 plus 1 is 2. 5 plus 5 is 10. And then what do we have right here? Oh, see that right there? Now we have this 2, 4, and 1. Okay, when I see this, it's very clear. But a lot of people don't understand what this is. And when I was seeing it, I kept seeing stuff like this in different words and things. And then the Lord's showing me. He showed me not too far. It's been a little while now, and I was trying to find a way to understand it. And he finally showed me how to understand this. They use numerics in a circle. It's a dimensional circle. I'm going to show you. It's the best I can way to show. This is in a dimensional circle. Okay. So for example, let's say this whole thing was a train. Let's say this whole thing was a train. This is the front car. This is the engine of the train. Got a car, and the caboose, right? And this went around the track. Went around the track. See? So if this guy went, or let's say this was the, let's do it the other way. Sorry. Let's say that was the head. Went all the way around here. So that would be on the front. See how this would be a front? Or if this whole thing went around in a circle, this would be in the front. So this is 1 from this. Now let me show you how this works. So example, like again, this is a Roman idea. Okay, it comes from the new revised Roman Empire that's coming. The Roman calendar of the 12th month being the last month of the cycle or of the age. Okay, so it's I from X. So X in Roman numerals is 10. I equals 1 in Roman numerals. So 1 in front of 10 equals 1 from 10 equals 9. So that 1 in front of 2, 10, 24 is 2, 9, 24. Okay, so let me show you how this works. This is this crazy circular thing that the Lord showed me recently. Well, it's been a little while, but I'm like, what are you trying to say? And then it finally recently showed me what he's trying to say. And I'm like, it's all circular. And it's because it's a different dimension of thinking. So what I mean by this, so for example, see how if you go like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay, so see how this is 6, but from the way you're looking at it from this in this dimension, the way the numbers go around in this flat dimension, because you're looking at it this way. But if you were looking at it, how you're looking at it from this dimension, it looks like a 9, but it's really upside down. See again, upside down and backwards or opposites. We'll see how this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it look right from this perspective right here, looking at it right now, it looks like a 9. Or how this is a 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but from this perspective, kind of to an angle, it looks like an L. Same thing with over here. See how this H or this 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you turn your head to the right a little bit, how it's still a 4 and a 3. But if you turn your head to the left, it's an H and an E. An H and E. See how they're hiding numbers, or letters and numbers. So what do you have here? You have H-E-L, and then you can do that again. H-E-L, hell. That's not a coincidence. And I've shared that before. That certain things with a certain number spell out hell. Like, for example, when I added up a number of things that have to do with the eclipse that's coming in April 8th, eclipse is coming, it adds up to 1134, which is upside down and backwards, hell, H-E-L-L. Anyway, a lot of things. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so for example, it's also the cycle that they believe in, which is it's not godly. It's like everything's in this natural cycle which they worship, and it's worshiping the earth and the creation and everything like that, not the creator. It's in sixes and stuff too. Again, 6 is 9. So 9 represents creation in a sense, or the creator in a sense, and 6 represents the world. But 9, see how 6 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 9, and it becomes creation in a sense. It's weird. So, for example, birth is right here. 1. So you go from 0 to 1, that's birth, and you go around here like this. You got 6 becomes 9, and then you go around here to 9 becomes 0. That's death. You go from 9 to 0. That's why a cat has 9 lives. That's why they say a cat has 9 lives, and then it's dead. That's a hint to this. Okay, I'm telling you stuff that's most people have no idea about. I didn't know about until the Lord Jesus told me and showing me this stuff, and it's hinting to me on it. I'm like, what are you talking about? He finally showed me like a picture in my mind. I was like, what? And then so that's death, and then what happens back around? We get back around. We got rebirth. So we got birth, death, 9 lives, death, rebirth. Birth, death, rebirth, birth, death, rebirth, birth, death, rebirth. And so they believe that these are all the same, or they relate to the same thing. They overlap each other. For example, 6 in a sense, being worldly or being death, is also 9, which is also creation. So it's a weird, sick thing. What it is, it's an Ouroboros. And we've seen these things around in different things in our culture and things, but we don't recognize them necessarily. That's an Ouroboros. It's the serpent eating its tail. It's what they believe. It's a sick, and I'm going to explain what it is. I'm going to show you the definition here in a second. But this is in all kinds of stuff. For example, this is in the Avengers Endgame, when Thanos comes down on this ship, or his minions come down on the ship. That is an Ouroboros. There's a serpent eating its tail. It's in a lot of things and hidden, but that's what they believe. This is a very cultic thing. So, for example, an Ouroboros, emblematic serpent of ancient Egypt. Again, it's very Egyptian and Greek, represented with its tail in its mouth, continually devouring itself and being reborn from itself. A Gnostic and alchemical symbol. Ouroboros expresses the unity of all things. Not a real one. It's a religion that's not accurate. Material and spiritual, which never disappear but perpetually change form in an eternal cycle of destruction and recreation. There's no such thing. Things are created for some amount of time, then they're destroyed, and then God decides what to create and what to destroy and when, all this stuff. And they're allowed, his creation is allowed to exist for a certain amount of time, and then they're judged. That's all in the Bible. There's different sets of time when he gives people, allow them to live and then make certain decisions, and then when they do really bad, then now we're in the age of grace, and then that's about to shut down, and then he's going to judge people and all that stuff. So that we're going into this transition of the end of the age of grace, and judgment's coming. And so, but this idea is what, again, the demonic and a lot of people that are in the media and stuff worship, and a lot of times they don't realize what they're worshiping and what they're really doing, especially with the numbers and everything, but that's part of it. Okay, so for example, like I showed you with this Ouroboros and this whole cycle here, you basically, it's when this 1 comes all the way back around, it's 1 from 2/10/24. So 1 day from 2/10/24 is 2/9/2024. That's how you get the 2 days. Sometimes they tack it on the end of the 10. So it would be, let's say you had 2/10 and 2/11, the 2 days you're looking at. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so again, 2/9 and 2/10. And I'm going to show you another example of 2/9 and 2/10. So the Oroville Dam. Okay, by the way, the Oroville Dam is roughly on almost the same exact latitude of the dam that would be of Washington, D.C., roughly across the country where, for example, the movie Evan Almighty showed a dam that was breaking, and that's the opposite. So they showed a dam that was breaking in the area vicinity of Washington, D.C., and then exactly opposite horizontally, okay, on the horizon, or even what do you call it, on the ladder, yeah, latitude, basically the latitude, the ladder rung anyway, on the opposite side of the United States is basically Oroville and the Oroville Dam. So when they're showing it in the movie, it's the opposite of Washington, D.C. on the other side of the United States, and it's basically Oroville Dam. Okay, anyway, that little thing, little thing to share that came to my mind right now. But Oro means in English gold. So, but there's a perceived meaning, and then there's a deeper spiritual meaning. Now I'm going to show you this perceived meaning. Oro means gold, but also the Ouroboros, or Oro, O-U-R-O, speaking of Ouroboros when I was just a minute ago, Oro is gold as well, so or Oro in general. But what is Boros? Boros means, or when you put Ouroboros, this thing together, is gold, and then using or spending too much, being wasteful, or being wasteful with gold, okay, is what Ouroboros really means. I'm going to show you what that's saying. It's crazy. Oh, and then also, when you look at Oroville, like the Oroville Dam, the city of Oroville, okay, in 1856, the name Ophir City was changed to Oroville, literally meaning the city of gold in Spanish. Okay, so this idea of gold, and then this wasting gold. Okay, let me go back to well, let's show you this first. This is where, again, Oroville, remember talking about 2-9 and 2-10 and how Oroville relates to that? Well, watch this. 1856, so many things will add up to this when you're talking about this particular subject that's linked to this first 2 days, 2-9 and 2-10. So 1856 is easily reduced or compressed into 9. 1 plus 8 is 9, and 5 plus 6 is 1 and 1. I'm not going to say the actual number because it's there's algorithms that are on the internet and everything, or on the YouBoob. But 9, 1, and then 1, okay, is hiding something that a lot of people don't know. It's the beginning of this transition I'm talking about. So it's really the 9th of 1 plus 1. Now let's compress numbers. 1 plus 1 is 2. 9th of February. Again, Oroville is related to Oroville, that date, 9th of February. And there's also going to be the 10th. So when we're talking about gold, okay, gold is in, solid gold temples from India, like that. Gold, okay, and then, gold that's crazy inside of cathedrals and Catholicism and stuff. Look at this gold in cathedrals, and what's going on here? It's a spirit thing, okay? This is more even deeper than I'm going to explain, but it's a spiritual thing. Gold evokes spirit. And it evokes good or bad spirits in general. So gold basically equals spirit. So in the good sense, gold was in the God's temple in Jerusalem, okay, or wherever the temple was built, and that's a good sense. But in gold in other areas, it's meant to have a vibration that brings demonic spirits to worship. Okay, that's what's going on here. For you to don't know or get, that's why all these things are encased in gold, because it's a vibration. When people go into these places, the gold is vibrating at a certain level that spirits come in and out, and they live there. And so that's how when people go into these, I've always thought for a long time, how can people believe in some of these religions that don't make sense and other like that? Because they go in these temples and they get these experiences with demons that are going in and out when it was come demonic and things. But if they were actually in God's Holy of Holies or God's holy temples, at the time, now we have something different that's not set up for this time, but back then when it was set up for a temple and everything, then it was righteous. But now that's not even righteous. God set up his temple in human beings to make that even more clear. So now anything that's gold and out there, no matter what it is, it's not. He changed the whole. He changed everything. With Jesus, he changed everything. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not saying that even a temple you go into that's, supposedly Jewish or whatever, he's even righteous. That's not even right. No, it's supposed to be God set up his temple in humans and in their hearts. But what I'm saying is when you have this gold, they create a vibration that's spirit. So anyway, let's keep going. So for example, like this was like a portable wherever they were and they set up these versions of the temple. This was kind of the version of the temple. Again, you see all this gold and everything because there's a vibration of the Spirit of God and everything as well. And spirits, angels and things, there's a vibration that happens. And then you have the Holy of Holies, and then you have the veil, or you have the gold and the golden altar and the gold and gold. So you have the oro, and then you have the veil. Okay, you see where I'm going here? Hopefully you see that. Okay, so the veil is what covers from going into the ultimate life. So this is where the priest was out here. He had to be pure. And a lot of people don't know this, but I did a lot of study over the years on a lot of this stuff and learned how the things, these veils were so thick. They could be anywhere from, now there's some debate, but anywhere from 4 inches thick to the thickness of a human being. Okay, so if you think about it, when Jesus was crucified, and then there was an earthquake when he died, after he died and everything on being crucified. There's an earthquake and everything, and it tore the veil in the temple in half. By the way, the temple veil at that time, not this temple. This is a makeshift temple or a temporary temple. The regular temple that was built, the second temple in Jerusalem, was basically like 5 stories high. So this huge veil, this big curtain, in a sense, was 5 stories high, roughly, or 5.5, something like that, stories high, and it was almost the thickness of a person, from what I've researched and found over the years. And I've done biblical research for 30-some years, about 32, almost 32 years now. And we, biblical, extra biblical, and all that kind of stuff. And then that was torn from top to bottom, almost the thickness of a human being. And that shows you that God did it. And that was showing anybody who saw that God did it, and that Jesus was who he said he was, and that was the miracle of that. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But now if you look at what this is saying, Oroville. Now look, if we look at Oroville, the Lord showed me about what it's showing, why they have gold. Now you say city of gold. So Ville is a city of gold. Gold city, yes. Or Ville, gold town, or villa, or whatever. Okay, but it's even more than that. It's the gold veil. Gold veil. So there's a veil to the gold. So that dam represents a veil to the spirit. It's a veil to the spirit. And so the veil to the spirit's going to be taken down. So and you see that in a good way as far as the goodness of God and the Spirit of God, but in the bad way, letting evil spirits in. So it's going to be both. There's going to be good Spirit of God let in, the veil turned down, but then also evil spirits coming in more that people haven't experienced since way back before the age of grace, and who knows, maybe like never ever before, because God says what's coming in the tribulation time, and this transition's never been seen before. So it's Oroville, and that just gives you a clue. The Lord told me that's just a clue in how this lays out as far as numerically, so you can solve it a little easier. For example, look at these L's on the end. There's veil's really 1 L, but because of the way it's the word villa or ville is 2 L's, so that sets up automatically the year of 12 plus 12 is 24. See how this works? It's crazy. Okay, so anyway, let's get rid of some 9s. 1 plus 8 is 9. 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9, and this 9. Now we go 1 and 1 is 2, 5 and 5 is 10. And I knew that because I went backwards first, but I'm going to just show you this. And I saw what was left over. But I'll just show you this. And then 12 plus 12 is 24. There we go. 2, 10, 24. The exact day, month, and year again. And it's going to keep coming. I'm going to keep smacking you with this until you see what I'm saying. Okay? Until it makes sense. And then here and there, I'll show you some examples of other ways of looking at it that is still true, that prove this out. So again, what happened about almost 6 years ago, 6 years ago in February 11th, one day off February 10th. Why is it off by that? Because the balance is right in this year, and I'll show you. The Oroville Dam crisis. This thing broke, the spillway broke, and there was like 180,000 people in danger and all kinds of stuff. And because it was foretelling the bigger crisis that's coming in February, and it's 10th. It's one away right here. Why is that one away? I'm going to show you. So here's the date that is right here. Here's the date that I found in Oroville and many others. Again, I have a big old bag on each of these subjects. Oroville Dam, on Kamala Harris, on Joe Biden, on all these different people, on these different days. All this stuff. I have hundreds upon hundreds of information, symbols, numbers. I mean, for years I've compiled all these things, and what has happened is many times on these exact days, numerically, these things symbolically, these same things symbolically have happened. It's crazy. Very similar things on these exact days have happened. For example, on the day 7, I'll give you one. Let me give you one example about this. So for that's a lot I can give you, but it came to my head right now. So for example, Trump will die on February 17th. Okay, well, February 17th, a couple years ago, I think, if I remember right, it was Atlantic City, maybe. I can't remember where. I think it was Atlantic City. Trumbull Tower Casino was demolished and it was destroyed to make way for some new construction or whatever. So literally, Trump Tower, it had a big Trump on it, and it fell on 2/17, and it was a previous year because it's foretelling Trump falling on 2/17 another year. I'm telling you, and there's many. I have hundreds of those examples. I can just keep talking about them all, but I want to hit you with just a couple things here and there. That's what they do. They're using symbolic things in the past and numbers and stuff to that are hidden to profess the future. Falsely prophesy the future, okay? And so people, somehow they're invested in that spiritually, but by consuming it, not questioning it. So anyway, so February 11th, how is February 11th equal to 10/24? I'm going to show you. Because this is hiding this date. Like I found this in Oroville and many other examples I found that I'm not going to get into because it would be a 17-hour video. Okay, anyway, I'm not kidding. 2/11, so 2/11, watch. Ready? So 2, decompress 11 into 10 and 1, and then you have 2, and then remember 0 is hiding O. It can be hiding O. It can be. Sometimes it's just 0. It can be hiding O. In this situation, it's hiding O, and O is either 15 or 1 plus 5 is 6. Then we have 17. Boom, here we go. 2, bring the 2 down, bring the 10 down, bring the 1 down, bring the 2 down, and now we're going 6 plus 1 is 7, and bring the 7 down. Keep going. 2, 10. We're going to switch the 1 and the 2 to 2 and 1. Okay, we're just going to switch the 1 and 2 to 2 and 1, and we're going to 7 plus 7 is 14. Keep going. 2, 10, 2, 1 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 1 is 2 and 4. Look, 2/10/2024 is the same date as 2/10/24. We're just not including the 2, but see that? So that is predictively programming a crisis on February 10th because February 10th is hidden in there, and it's a crisis that's coming on 2/10/24. Hope that makes sense. Now I'm going to transition. Now we'll go into 2/13 and 2/14, being the day before Valentine's Day and Valentine's Day. Now, one crazy thing about the Oroville Dam is I'm going to show you how the Oroville Dam being set for the first days, 9th and 10th, or the 9th and 10th, or 9 and 10, or 9 and 1, in a sense, the pre-day and the first day, okay, it's prophesying in its name. Again, these are false prophecies. These are contrived prophecies because they're not like what God prophesies. They're made to happen behind the scenes that people don't see, so they end up fulfilling what it says, but it's hidden in the message. Okay, so for example, the Oroville Dam equals E till Hoover Dam. Because they not only plan to destroy the Oroville Dam on the first days, 9th and 10th, okay, they also are going to destroy the Hoover Dam that's outside Las Vegas on the 4th and 5th day, or which is the 13th and 14th. 4 is 1 plus 3, and 5, the 5th day, is 1 plus 4. Okay, so the Oroville Dam is hiding E till Hoover Dam. What does that mean? E till Hoover Dam. Well, E is 5, the 5th letter of the alphabet. So 5 till Hoover Dam. What does that mean? But let me show you also. E also on reverse gematria, because that's what they love, the stuff that's opposite as well. People don't realize that as well. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that with the birth of the Antichrist on 220 and 221 on my part 2. It's crazy. Some of the stuff with one letter and how it means up the reverse and the letter together means something. It's so E, okay. E is also in reverse gematria, so that means Z equals 1, Y equals 2, X equals 3, for example. E in reverse gematria is 22, and then compress the numbers, 2 plus 2 is 4. So E is either 5 or 4. So 5 till Hoover Dam or 4 till Hoover Dam. In fact, that works out perfect because with the time frame of Oroville is 2:9 and 2:10. And actually, I already knew this before I already knew the timing of Oroville and Hoover before I knew that the E till Hoover Dam was in Oroville Dam, the Oroville Dam. So this fits perfectly. So 2:9 and 2:10 are 5 days or 4 days till Hoover Dam. Hopefully if that doesn't rock you, I don't know what will. If you don't understand, don't understand what I'm saying, I get it. But really, in the Oroville Dam is 5 or 4 days or 4 till Hoover Dam. So it's literally predictive programming you when this goes, that in 5 or 4 days, depending on when you're. So for example, let's say Oroville Dam goes the night of 2/9, February 9th, okay, 2024, and then it's reported on 2/10, and you hear about it on 2/10. Well, and then you're seeing in the news, the Oroville Dam just got destroyed. Well, you're hearing the Oroville Dam, and you don't know what's saying to you subconsciously or whatever, or spiritually vibrating in you that you don't know. E till Hoover Dam, or 4 days till Hoover Dam, and here you got it's the 10th, and then it's telling you 4 days till Hoover Dam. Then that's the 10th. 4 days till Hoover Dam is 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. 4 days, and then the Hoover Dam goes off on the 14th. Okay, and so hopefully that makes sense, but it's right there. I'm telling you. And in many movies, several movies, and this is a low budget movie, I forget which movie this is, Hoover Dam gets destroyed. This is, definitely a model and everything, but because it's going to happen. And then here's a bigger movie, a scene from a bigger movie called San Andreas, where the San Andreas fault goes off, with starring Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Yeah, the false rock that you don't be able to trust on. He's a version of the Antichrist, the false rock. Anyway, Dwayne Johnson is in that in San Andreas. In this movie, this seismologist and his assistant are up here, and then they run off this thing, and one dies because he can't make it off the thing because he's trying to save a girl, and this thing collapses or whatever, and this destroys. Well, by the way, this date of this destruction is in the word San Andreas, the exact day, month, and year. Believe it or not. Well, believe it. Here it is. Ready? There's the numbers in S equals 19, A equals 1, N equals 14, all the way across here, right? Ready? We get rid of the 9s. Now that 9, 1 plus 8 is 9, and then we have 4 and 5 is 9. Boom. I'm going to leave these because I see where this is going. I can see where it was going. Boom. 1 plus 1 is 2, and then bring the 14 down. You see where this is going? Okay, now, boom, we're going to do this. We're going to leave this 1 right here for right now, okay? And then we're going to go like this. We're going to go 1, and then 1 plus 9 is 10. Okay, now watch. Let's keep going. Boom. 2 down, 14 down, 24 down, and then 1 plus 1. Oh, wait, by the way, sorry. I don't think I told you. So this 1 plus 1 is 2, and that 2 comes down, 4 comes down. There you go. And then maybe I didn't. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what I said. And then 1 comes down, 1 plus 9 is 10. So you have 2, 14 down, 2, 14, 12, 24 down, and then 1 plus 1 is 2 down and 0 down. So what do we have here? We literally have 2, 14, and we're going to just switch these to 20, 24. Exactly! With even the 0 and everything. Is that a coincidence? No, and by the way, for years, before I even shared this with you, I'm sharing with you right now, people that know have been watching my videos for years, for 5+ years. I've been saying for probably 4.5 years of that 5+ years, 4.5 years, I've been saying that the 4th and 5th day, that the Hoover Dam would be destroyed and Las Vegas would be hit by a meteor. Because Las Vegas was hit by a meteor, the Hoover Dam would be destroyed. Okay? And I've said that for about 4.5 years. And then it ends up equaling the exact day I've been saying, or that's the 5th day. I didn't know exactly what month and exactly what day, because it could have been a 5, or it could have been a 14, or it could have been 23. 2 plus 3 equals 5. And I didn't know what year, of course. Okay, but all these are things I'm talking about are adding up to this exact month, day, and year of this timeline in February 2024. It's crazy. Okay, keep going. Then there's a stupid bull, or a superb owl. But there's a Super Bowl, and I'm gonna in my part 2, I'm gonna tell you what the Super Bowl really is. The Super Bowl is in the sky. There's a bowl in the sky, and that's what they're talking about, and it's pointing you to the day of the Super Bowl. And I'm gonna get into that part 2. You won't believe it. Off the charts, mind-blowing stuff. Okay, so but the Super Bowl, or the superb owl, the wisdom of the superb owl, that people are worshiping don't even know it, is that, and I've known this since the Super Bowl LV, and I'm going to show you that in a second, that this is showing a few things, but that a meteor is going to hit Las Vegas, LV. Okay, see, now watch. Back here at Super Bowl LV, whatever that is, Super Bowl 50, Super Bowl 50, I knew what that was showing, because it was a number of things. It was vile. Anyway, well, there's so much I could say. I'm not gonna get into it right now. But then I remember this. The next Super Bowl was even more clear to me, because look how this is in Miami, but look how this, if you kind of look at it from a distance or a screen, it looks like blood, and then blood splatter and blood dripping, because people are going to be killed in Las Vegas. Okay, this meteor is going to hit Las Vegas. And again, before I even saw this or the Super Bowl with LV and everything, I already knew that was going to happen with other predictive programming, other symbolism before that. But when this came up, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're literally showing that now in the Super Bowl logo. A meteor. Now watch. Meteor is going to be hitting LV. Okay, and it just happens to be now this year in that freaking place. And I've been saying it. I've been saying that LV for years. LV is Las Vegas, and they literally have the year it's going to happen in Las Vegas. Okay, I know a couple things. And what I know is from the Lord Jesus himself. So he knows all the stuff. And I want to make that super clear. He knows all the stuff. And he's just, I'm bothering to listen and waiting on him and doing what he's showing me the best I can. But he knows these things. I don't. But he knows these things, and he's showing me. So now I know a few things because he's showing me. He's taught me these things. But look, Meteor is going to hit LV. And then let me show you what's also going on here. There's a lot of things going on here, and I'm not going to show you everything. But watch. L is 12, but now let's just make it backwards. Again, they look backwards, upside down, all that. So L is 12, but we're going to make it 21, just so I can show you how easy this is. And then V is 22. But remember, compressed numbers, 2 plus 2 is 4. So look, LV will be hit by Meteor on 214. Now, do you think Meteor? I already knew that Meteor was going to have, when after the Lord showed me all this stuff about the exact date of 214, 2024, I already knew it was going to be in Meteor. Or 213, I knew it was going to be 213 and 214, depending on your time zone, I knew he was going to be there. And as soon as I went to it, because he said, look at Meteor, then I was like, bam. But before that, watch this. The Super Bowl in Las Vegas on the 11th of February. One day, 12th, 13th, 14th, boom. Because see this thing right here? This shares that. This is that. They both share this. So 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. Well, these are days. 1, 2, 3, boom. Or 3, or you could say 3, 2, 1, boom. The Super Bowl day, 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3, boom. I'm telling you, there's so much in this stuff. And sometimes people go, yeah, right. Oh, come on. But it proves out in many different ways. More than I can even show you, because that'd be a long video. Again, M equals 13, E equals 5, T equals 20. Let's keep going. Boom. So 1 plus 3 is 4, 5. And we're going to switch the 20 and the 5. 5 and 20 and 5 to 5 and 20. We'll switch that. And then we're going to do bring 15 down. 1 plus 8 is 9. Let's keep going. 4 plus 5 is 14. Take away the 0. In fact, take away the 0 and bring the 2 down. 15 plus 9 is 24. So we literally have the 14th of February 24 in Meteor. Exactly. Not even off by one digit. And that's coincidence? Listen, if it means something else, fine. But how is it all? How are these things I'm talking about, say the exact month, day, and year, if they're not possibly that? And I'm saying it's massively possible. I'm not saying it's definitely that. I'm saying it's massively possible, and I may have these down low on the whole thing at the end, and that's what happened. Remember what was said about Daniel in the Bible, that all the information was shut up, closed up or shut up until the very end, and that he will unleash the information at the very end. And that's what it literally says. And he also says he doesn't do anything until he tells his prophets. Now, I'm prophetic in that he showed me things, dreams and visions about what's going to happen. He literally showed me what's going to happen. So that's prophetic. Now, as far as the dates and times, I don't know for sure. Okay. But I know certain things are going to happen. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen massive tsunamis that hit both coasts. I've seen certain things in dreams and visions that I know are going to happen. Okay. There's no doubt in my mind. I've seen it. I saw people dying. I saw it was real as I was there. And it just traumatized me in a way. And then the Lord brought me some amazing other revelations that blessed me and all that. But he had to show me how deep and horrible it was. So he got me on the ball. That's just how it works. I'm trying to lose my voice a little bit. What the heck? Okay, let's keep going. And then now we're going to juxtapose the idea of Las Vegas and a meteor or whatever, and also because of the same day with Las Vegas and aliens. Because again, aliens show up on that same day, 4th and 5th day, the 13th and 14th. So here we got a movie and many movies, but I'm just using one example here. And then there's a lot of movies on all these subjects of these things, but I'm going to just show you one, for example, or a couple of different things. So Mars attacks. So you have juxtaposing the idea of Las Vegas being attacked and aliens attacking. And that just happened to be the same day. Now watch. Another way of doing it, if you add up all these letters to numbers, you add all that up, another way of doing it is first and last letter code. And I'm one of the few people that I've ever seen. In fact, I don't know anybody that I can think of that does first and last letter code. But first and last letter code on Mars attacks is M, A is first letter, S, S is last letter. And what are those? M is 13, A is 1, and then 19 and 19. Now watch. Again, you can get rid of any 9. So get rid of, because 1 plus 9 equals 10, take away the 0, and you have 1. So get rid of the 9s, and you got rid of that 9. 1 and 1 is 2, and then 13 plus 1 is 14. And it just happens to be that it's going to happen that not only Las Vegas, I've been saying for 4.5 years, is going to be attacked, but also aliens going to show up, bad aliens going to show up on the 5th day, or 1 plus 4 is 5. It just happens to be that. Nope. In fact, aliens, or again, I'm going to use a movie called Aliens because it's in the name. Listen, English is designed to predictive programming you to the times that we're seeing now, and it has since its origin. And to finally understand some of these things, if these are going to happen like this, is incredible. And it's giving me this, blowing my mind, my brain's blowing out my back of my head and going down the street. And then I got to go find it. And then so aliens is the date the aliens are coming. It's like, what, Lord, really? Is that what you're trying to show me? Again, that's what I'm perceiving right now, and time will tell if that's what it is. So aliens, watch. Aliens is A equals 1, L equals 12, I equals whatever, blah, blah, blah. Watch. So 1 plus 1 is 2, and then bring this 2 down. 9 plus 5 is 14. Then this is 5. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 19, right? Boom, bring those down. Keep going. 2. And then we're going to switch the 2 and the 14 to 14 and 2. Just switch these. 2 and 14, 14, 2, and then 5 and 19. And keep going. So 2, 14, and then 2, and then 5 plus 19 is 24. Boom. 2, 14, 20, 24. Again. I'm seriously. Month, day, exact year, 2024. Aliens, bad aliens. Those are bad aliens. And then the benevolent, like taller giant aliens they're going to come later at the end of this timeline. They're going to show up and they're going to, with Obama, they're going to solve the alien infestation problem that are bad aliens. They're going to defeat them. He's going to look like a massive hero. They're going to be the heroes. And they're going to say, hey, now you can be part of us and take this thing that's going to make you live forever. And it's called a mark. Well, they probably won't call it that, but that's what the Bible calls it, and all that. And then they're going to replace God being the gods, and he's going to be the mediator between the gods and man, Mercury, or the mediator. Mars. I mean, the meteor, not Mars. Why did I say Mars? The meteor between the gods, Saturn and Jupiter, and men, in a sense. And I'm going to show you that in the next video that's going to blow your mind as well, with this alignment that's going to happen in February, and how confirmation of the gods and man and him being Mercury, because that alignment is going to be exactly in that. He's going to be right in the middle. He's going to be the mediator between the gods and men and women. And that's in the exact alignment that's going to happen in February 9th and 10th. It's crazy. Oh man, can't believe that. That's crazy. Okay, then we have this creepy zombie movie that was in 1979. I remember seeing this in the video store when I was a kid. My parents, they didn't know what they were doing when I was growing up. I wasn't a believer. They weren't really believers. They really didn't go to church or anything. And I remember going to a video store and looking at some of these movie covers and seeing this creepy stuff, and it really creeped me out as a kid. Zombies really scared me when I was a kid. There's a creepy looking zombie at the time in 1979. What's going on with my pointer here? Not my pointer. There's my pointer. Okay. So zombie. And so I'd like to use an example of a movie just called Zombie, and how in Zombie is the timing as well. Now watch. Again, Z26, 015 all the way across here. Boom. Okay. Again, we're going to get rid of this 9. 5 plus 1 plus 3 is 9. Get rid of that. We're chipping away the stuff. Okay. Now, and then 2 and then 6 is decompressed into 2 plus 4. And then we have this 1 right here. So it's 2 comes down. 6 is 2 plus 4 and then 1. Sometimes you got to decompress one time, or, you know, but most of it's compression, but sometimes you got to decompress here and there, and that's how they hide this stuff, because they can't put it in plain sight because you'd never find it. So you need the Lord to help you with how they hide things. Okay, so then we're going to keep going here. Bring down 2. 9 plus 5 is 14. Okay, and then we're going to do this. We're going to bring down the 2 and the 2 and the 4 and the 1, and then we're going to bring down, oh, what did I do here? I thought it was, oh yeah, I'm going to switch this 2 and this 1 right here. Oh, I didn't do that. Oops. No. That's what it was. I forgot. So, okay, in this situation, the 1 is in front of the 214. That's a month. And so that's 1 from 214. And then we also have 2024. It's on this loop thing I've been showing you. So it's 1 from, I know it's harder to believe maybe some people, but it is there. This is there. It's 1 from 214, because that is a date. If you were to say 214 to somebody, or February 14th, they go, oh, I know that's Valentine's Day. Okay, so that's an established number. So if you say 1 from, so if I say to someone, it's 1 day from Valentine's Day. So they're like, oh, the 13th. Yeah, okay. So 1 from 214, 2024. Again, if you were to take this all the way around this, that would be 214 on the front of that and 1 in front of that. So it would be 1 from 214, 2024, because we're on a loop here, like I showed you earlier. Hopefully that makes sense. But all the numbers are there. Or if you don't believe that, we'll just do the rule of Kalel, like I showed you earlier, and just get rid of a 1. Boom, get rid of that 1, and then we just have backwards 14th. It's not exactly backwards, but it is backwards. See, you could do a backwards. For example, 14 backwards is 4-1, but 214 backwards could be 1-4-2, or it could just be 14 and 2. Hopefully I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. Anyway, so you can either do it where it's 1-4-2-2-2-4, or anyway, the order of the numbers is backwards. So that's what I'm saying. So if you go from backwards, 14th of February 2024. So that 2024 is a whole number, 2 is a whole number, 14 is a whole number. So the order of the day, month, and year are backwards that a lot of people are used to. So it's day, month, year backwards. Hopefully that makes sense. And because the rule of Kalel, we take a matter 1. So that's still the date, exactly. Okay, and then I could show you a ton of things about my nose is a little bit plugged up. I'm not sure why. Here, weird. Who knows why I'm talking sometimes? My throat's funky right now. I don't know. Or it's becoming funky. I don't know. I take a drink of my beverage. Anyway, what I was going to say was, like I've shared in previous Februaries in the last few years, all over iPad Goat is hearts and stuff, and references to Valentine's Day and such. And I can show you a bunch of those. I'm going to show you a few things, but my main focus on the message the Lord has me share right now with these numbers and supporting some of that stuff. But one of the things I've shared before is how this scene right here is 214, because T is 20 and take away the 0. So that's 214. Then you have hearts, obviously. So that's Valentine's Day. Okay, obviously, it should be obviously. And by the way, iPad Goat was removed back in 9/5 or September 5th last year, 2023, when it was up for over 11 plus years. And I've explained in some of my videos, past few videos, why it was removed. And I have even more reasons why it was removed coming up in part 2. But also, to explain to some people about iPad Goat, it's a 7-minute animated movie that's basically a symbolic and picture puzzle of a timeline. Each scene, pretty much each scene, is some kind of timeline. It's almost like if the enemy would have took the book of Revelation. By the way, the book of Revelation is not linear. It's not chapter 1 through chapter 22. It's not completely linear. Each chapter is its own timeline, and then they're kind of, if you were to like jumble them around, you could kind of jumble them in some kind of time frame or timeline. But they take little swaths of time frame, and each, from the what the events are going to happen. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm going to explain that very well, but Revelation is a composite of many timelines and not jammed together in the exact order. Okay, and so that's what the enemy did with iPad Goat. He animated something about the end of the United States and some things that are coming in this time frame of the 14/16 days, and then he just put them in different orders and in different groupings of days and things like that. And then it's all symbols that are, it's a symbol puzzle. There's symbol puzzles of timelines. It's a puzzle. So they use a little bit of logic, and you have to know some things. And it's like anytime you do a puzzle, if you do a crossword puzzle, you got to know some information. You got to know some stuff, and you have to have some background and some things and knowledge, and have some wisdom and some knowledge mixed together and all that. With something like this, you have to see things differently. You have to be kind of see things differently, like I've always been able to do. But then the Lord just puts it on turbo with the Spirit of God, and then I see through things, a lot of things, and see what they really are over some time. Sometimes immediately, and then over time built this picture. So, for example, what he showed me was that not only is this 214, he showed me this a couple of years ago that this is 214, but also now he's telling me what this is. This is the day before, and it's right in front of your face. Watch. And by the way, this is the female version of Obama, because he is I am Q. I am Q, and I've shared this before. And there's a lot going on here that I prove that basically. It's also 322, a bunch of things, skull and bones, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so watch. I is 9, M is 13, Q is 17, and U is 21. Now I made this a different color. Some of these different color for a reason, because it's backwards, or upside down. Okay, so you normally read it I am Q U, right? I am Q. Who are you? Anyway, it's upside down. So the first one is 2, 1. So 2 right here. 1 plus 1 plus 7 plus 1 plus 3. We don't include the 9. That's why I made a different color. Anything at 9 just stays the same, so I'm just going to take that out. But 1 plus 1 plus 7 plus 1 plus 3 is 13. So right here, hiding is 213 and 214. The first attack day of 213, 214, right in front of your face. And then the idea, why is the heart the symbol of Valentine's Day? Because it's Gematria programming. In the word heart is the exact date of the Valentine's Day that's going to break everybody's heart. And then I've shared before also that a heart is a representation of a female area, if you can get my drift. And then upside down, it's a male set of something, a couple male parts upside down. So when you put those together, that's conception, and then it's birth. So it's the act of conception, and then it's also birth, what heart means. So, the shape of a heart. And it means several things like that. And it also means the date. So look, H equals 8, 5 is E, E is 5, and all that. Watch, boom, get rid of this 9, and then we'll just go backwards in a sense. We're going to go like this. We're going to 2 is going to go over here. And then O is, remember, it's 15. 0 is O, hiding O, can be hiding O, which is 15 or 6. Okay, so this is what we have. And then 1 plus 5 plus 8 is 14. So we literally have 14th of February, 6 is hiding 2 plus 4. 14th of February, 24 is in heart. And you're being programmed. Very possibly, I'm saying it's most likely that you're being programmed, and we're all being programmed with these different words to the exact day these things are going to happen that they've been planning for many, many years, and they're in all these different, they're in so many things you can't even fathom. It's like, and they're programming you daily. Okay, so again, here we also have, so imagine that we have these red hearts, but this is 214. To confirm that, are we going to see something over here that's going to confirm this date? Yeah, we are. Evil. By the way, what's the day of love? But they're making it opposite. The day of love backwards is evil. It's love. The day of love is going to become evil. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So these are the numbers of these letters. Again, now we're going to switch. We're going to take 5 and put it up here, and then switch the 22 and the 15. We're going to switch these right here. Then bam, we're going to switch the 2 and the 1 to, or 1 and 2 to 2 and 1. We'll put this 1 out here just so you can see. And then 5 plus 15 is 20. 22 plus 2 is 24. And then we have this 1. So remember, like I showed you before, is on this circle. 1 from 214 is 213. 1 from 214 is 213, 2024. Or if you just get rid of this with the rule of Kalal, just get rid of that 1, we have 214, 2024. Remember, we have 1 from 214 is 213, or 214 when we get rid of this 1 rule of Kalal. So both dates, just like I had both dates right here, confirming. Again, I have many confirmations, even way more than these. But I'm just showing you these in this video because I don't have I'm going to do a 17-hour video. So, okay, I'm seriously, I could have, wow, just at least 5, 6, 7 hours. And then other subjects of this stuff, then yeah, it could go up close to that probably. Okay, so here we go. So basically, in here, I found recently something that absolutely blew my mind. And I found something last year that blew my mind as well. Now, a few years ago, I found this in the woman. By the way, Muslim woman is 214, 2024, and woman is 213, 2024. And I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm just decided to share that with you right now because it's literally the exact dates in both, and those are both dates of it. But anyway, this is the Super Bowl Lombardi trophy that's hiding in her head, okay, and arm, okay. And then again, this is symbolic puzzle. So last year, Super Bowl 57. So again, they count backwards. So you can go E is 5. The way this position with her head this way, that makes a 7. 57. You come around here, D backwards, it was still D, and then C that's kind of drooping is C. So Super Bowl 57 on the 43rd day of the year. This in between here is an arrow, and that is the symbol of the Kansas City Chiefs. They won the Super Bowl, and this was predicted an iPad GOAT back in 2012 or 212, and the Super Bowl and this year was on February 12th. That's 43rd day of the year. I'm just saying, I mean, either this is a massive off-the-charts coincidence, or I found this, the Lord led me to this, and I found it. Okay, now what I want to show you is this overlap that's in her face. That's not only her head and her arm, but it's in her face. Is an overlap of 212. There's going to be an attack in Ukraine. There's going to be, and I've known about this for years, and now this confirms it even more than all the information I've seen over the last four and a half years total of this particular thing about the Ukraine. And this nukes going off in Ukraine's of 212 to 213. So it happened on 212. It's reported on 213, and then this attack on Los LV will be 213 into 214, and there's an overlap of 213. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to show you. So in her head, when you put her head this way, I showed you what it was earlier. Now we put her head sideways like this. And again, it's backwards. VD. We're not just talking about venereal disease, which probably a lot of people get on Valentine's Day. Never know. I mean, that's just the way it goes, unfortunately, with a lot of things, and that's probably why it's programmed for that. We never know. But VD is right here, backwards. VD, Valentine's Day. Again, this just happens to be in the proximity of the Super Bowl, so that's not a coincidence. Okay, so why would VD, and so this is backwards, I'm showing you. And again, it's about using a lot of different things to interpret some experience, some insight, some wisdom, some seeing things beyond the veil a little bit, things like that, to kind of interpret, see what's going on. And ultimately, I would not have gotten anywhere with this, trust me, I'm not that smart. If the Jesus wouldn't have guided me and say, look here, look at this. Why is this here? Look at that. Don't go here, go there. La la la, bam, bam, bam. And then divide off a lot of things as well as also guiding me to some things. So right here, we literally have the shape of her forehead and her eyes and her nose is a mushroom. It's uncanny how this is a mushroom. It's so because it's a mushroom and an upside down cloud. It's a mushroom cloud. What do we know about a mushroom cloud? Boom, hello. So VD, Valentine's Day, mushroom. It's a black cloud that's upside down. I was like mushroom, and then when I saw mushroom, that was super clear, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's upside down a black cloud. And I looked at it upside down. I'm like, that's a black cloud. And then I knew mushroom cloud. I'm like, that's definitely an attack. Okay, and then so that's VD, Valentine's Day, and it's within the proximity of the Super Bowl time. Now I'm going to show you this, so watch. So then we have, from this perspective, this is an M. You got the little thing over here, and you can't see it on here, and I kind of, the way I drew it on here, I kind of covered this up a little bit. There's a little tail right here. So this is an M, even though it's on the other side, but this is backwards. So it's M and N. And this is so crazy too, because the mushroom, you got mushroom cloud, right? And you have NM forward. And I was thinking, man, the birth of the mushroom cloud of the atomic bomb was from New Mexico. I mean, they have, this is multi-layered. And they might even, Los Alamos, New Mexico was where they came up with the first atomic bomb. And that's New Mexico is like mushroom cloud. The first mushroom cloud really of atomic bomb. That's crazy when I think about it. Okay, then boom. So backwards again, VD is backwards, V on the right, and then going to the left. VD is Valentine's Day, and then so we're going M and then N is 45. So Valentine's Day is the 45th day of the year. Is that a massive coincidence? Okay, so maybe it's a massive off-the-charts coincidence, even though I don't believe in that. But let's say maybe it is. Now, the massive off-the-charts coincidences keep stacking up till they're absolutely unbelievable? No. So by the way, so what year is this? Okay, so if this is the case, we're gonna have a mushroom cloud, okay, on roughly around the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day right here, right? Because her face is in the Super Bowl Lombardi Trophy. Okay, what year? Well, it tells you right here. It's in VD. Also, we know VD is Valentine's Day. We know what day that is, 2/14 every single year. But we know that V is 22 and D is 12. That's 2024. So not only is VD Valentine's Day, this again, there's the synergy of this, the brilliance of this in the demonic mind, okay? Not as brilliant as God's mind and the Lord's mind, of course, but it's still far smarter than human beings in that this VD is all not only Valentine's Day, we know it's 2/14, it's also the year 2024. It's hiding 224. So we have the 45th day of the year, we have VD representing Valentine's Day and the year. So we know it's 2/14/24, the 45th day of the year. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And then so look at mushroom to confirm this even more. Mushroom is these numbers right here, and I'm going to make the O 6 instead of 15 because 1 plus 5 is 6 without going through the motions here of making 1 plus 5 6. Okay, but so it's 6 here. Okay, watch. Boom. Get rid of this 9, and then 1 plus 8 is 9. Get rid of these right here. Okay, so we bring down 13 and 21. Bring down 18. 6 plus 6 is 12. 1 plus 3 is 4. Very simple. And then we have 13. We have the 2. And we're going to have this 1 just 1 plus 18 plus 1. See, 1 plus 18 plus 1 is 20. And then 24. Look at this. 13th of February, 2024. Again, that is the overlapping day. Remember, I showed this before. Let me go back here. It's the overlapping day. Right here, the overlapping day. Because there's a mushroom cloud going off in Ukraine on this day, reporting on this day. It's going to happen on this day. Where Las Vegas, depending on your time zone, and reported this day. So literally, both events are going to overlap of a mushroom cloud, in a sense, on that day. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And it's confirming everything I've known up to this point so far when I'm showing you. It's for about 4 years. 13th of February, 2024. Exactly! Not even off by 1 digit. Because I got rid of the 9s and everything's all there digit. I just moved things around a little bit because they can't make it super obvious where it's like, oh, it's B is 2. And then, 13, the number for 13. Okay. And then the T for 20. And then, X for 24 and all that, and then make all the words out of that in that exact order. No, they got to hide it quite a bit so people can't figure it out or know it's even there. Now watch this. There's another thing about Valentine's Day the Lord showed me just real recently here. There's so many I can show you. There's tons of hearts in that goat. The Antichrist literally has a heart within a heart within a heart, and that actually means something. 3 hearts actually means something, and all kinds of stuff for Valentine's Day. It's crazy. But right here, look at this. And again, we have a nuclear explosion. Boom, right here, see? And what is this showing? Let me blow this up. What is this showing? Well, you got to look a little deeper. Now, see how this cloud's coming down into this? There's an explosion right here that's kind of round here, and this is coming down into this. So if you kind of squint your eyes a little bit, you can see that this kind of messes up the top of this to make it it makes it a little bit different. Hopefully you know, but I'm going to show you. This is what this is showing. This is coming down here. And if you kind of squint a little bit, you can see that it changes this little thing coming down here, alters the shape on the top a little bit, because this kind of goes right, this kind of blends right to there, and that ends up being that it's a heart in the explosion. I'm telling you, believe it or not, it's right there. This is crazy. And then here, this is from footage from a movie called, a couple years ago that came out, called Army of the Dead. And it's a zombie movie that was basically the zombies had overtaken Las Vegas and were overrun Las Vegas. And so then you have everybody outside Las Vegas for the most part. It's where the zombie thing started. And for the most part, everybody outside Las Vegas was pretty much okay. And they quarantined Las Vegas in this movie. And then they end up blowing it up with a nuke on 4th of July. And then they did it a day early, the day before 4th of July, and that actually literally equals the day I'm talking about. But and I'm not getting into that right now, but it literally does. But so that's juxtaposing again this idea. Remember, we had Las Vegas with aliens, with Mars attacks. Now we have Las Vegas being nuked again, the mushroom cloud with zombies, with the dead. Okay, the dead coming back to life in a sense. And so what do we have it in Army of the Dead? And that's the title of the movie? Yes, we do. The exact day. Ready? Oh, they're all there right there. Get rid of the 9s. Some of these 9s here, most of the 9s. Boom. And we have 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus 2 plus 5 is 10. 1 comes down. 5 plus 6 is 11. And then we have 2. And then O, or 0 is O, and O is 15 or 6 right here. Boom. So let's bring that down again. 2, 10, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and 2, and then 6 is made up of 2 plus 4. So there we have it. 2, 10 plus 3 is 13, 20, 24. Right there. And that, again, that movie shows a nuke going off in Las Vegas, and this is numerologically tied to 213 of a nuke going off, and that's when it's going to go off on Las Vegas and also in Ukraine. And I'm going to show that more about the Ukraine stuff here pretty soon here. Okay, and then look at this. Again, another thing with, this is imagery that was produced promoting Independence Day, the movie back in whatever year that was, with aliens, and one of the ships in the movie crashed in Las Vegas. And just, there it is. So again, we're juxtaposing the idea of Las Vegas being attacked and aliens attacking, or an alien ship smashing and destroying Las Vegas. So both ideas on this day, and that's what that means. So now I'm going to show you that Las Vegas, not only does LV equals 214, what does Las Vegas spelled out equal? Hidden before your eyes, hidden in plain sight, unfortunately, is right here. Ready? So we have 12 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 is 23. Then we have 22, bring that down. 5 plus 7 is 12. 1 plus 19 is 20. Keep going. We're going to separate the 2 and the 3 here a little bit. We're going to switch the 22 and the 12 to 12 and 22, and then bring down the 20. Boom. 2, 3, 1. We're going to switch the 3, 1 to 1, 3. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, 1, 3, and then yeah, that's right. 3 and the 1 are switched to 1 and 3, and bring that down, and then we're going to go 22. Sorry, 2 plus 22 is 24, and then bring down the 20. It ends up being exactly 213, 20, 24, right there. Again, the day, if you're on because Las Vegas is on Pacific time, that's literally going to be 213. Anywhere from Pacific time all the way back to Hawaii time is going to be on the 13th when the attack comes. It's going to be late at night, and there's a lot of examples of movies where it happens late at night, and the attack happens. And then if when that happens, and if you're in Hawaii up to the West Coast Pacific time, then it happens that time. If you're in any state beyond that to the east, or let's say you're in New York, it happens on 2/14. So it's both days in a sense, but it's the same time frame. So now watch this. We got mushroom and cloud. Now that's a black cloud, okay? By the way, there's some reason for that. There might be some predictive programming in some kind of black cloud that forms from the nuxels that goes off in one of the areas or both. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, when it happens. But we have mushroom, and this is a cloud upside down. It's a black cloud, but it is a cloud, mushroom cloud. Now watch. What's black? Super simply, boom, 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 2/12/24. I mean, you can do it yourself. Again, I went through this already. I'm not going to do through every single one, but you can see it right in front of your face. If you want to pause this and do see how I've done it, you see how I did it. Boom, you can. And then cloud is right here. Boom, that equals that exactly. So black cloud is 2/12, which is the attack on black is the attack day exactly of Ukraine, and then cloud is literally covering the date of the Super Bowl. So what we literally have here is watch. Oh, by the way, again, so this is the orientation. So here's the orientation. This is upside down. So then that gives you a clue to put it right side up. So when you do it right side up, then that changes everything in a sense. It changes the new letters, okay, and even more clues to what these letters are, okay, or what the time frame is. More clues to what the time frame, confirming the time frame I'm talking about. And we have woo. Now this is W and U, okay, because that's a black cloud. Now that's proper. That's not upside down. That's a black cloud. I mean, I'm just telling you, I can perceive it because of mushroom, and then I'm like, okay, mushroom and then cloud. This looks kind of like a black cloud in the air. Okay, it's just putting a lot of things together to kind of discern this. So that's W. So when is this going to happen? Well, here we go. Ready? Okay, so but now again, we're looking at it backwards like we did before. It's not W, it's UW. And this could have many meanings. It could even have to do with University of Washington, or there's a lot of things that have to do with all these stuff. It's multi-layered. But right now, so we're going to go backwards. U is 21 and W is 23. Okay. Now the Lord showed me that very clearly that was showing 3 and 23, because I know what these are, because I have a lot of experience with these kind of numbers with days of the year. So I knew this is 2 plus 1 is 3, and then we got 23. Plus, I'm always open to the compressing and decompressing of numbers, hiding things. So I know this could be a 21 or a 12 or a 3. Okay, so that's 323. What's 323? 323 is not only this, it's this guy in reverse English, okay, because it's all about his birth. And that's the dead boy that's laying in her lap. It's also Trumple. That boy, and I've shared this in previous videos for years, that boy is a mixture of Trumple and Obama's. In fact, on him is in blood NY for New York, and that's where Trumple's going to die. And then on him is a symbol for Hawaii, which is where Obama's going to die. There's a bunch of things and all that I've shared. I'm not going to get into all that right now. But what's not only is 323 or UW hiding 323, which is that. What's 323? It is February 12th, the day of the attack in Ukraine, the 43rd day of the year, just like the Super Bowl last year was the 43rd day of the year. February 12th was ultimately what is showing, and that with 323 days left over. And to prove that even more, what's also 21, 23? 21, 23. Okay, so again, that is February 12th is the 43rd day of the year with 323 days left over, 323 or UW. UW is hiding 323, February 12th. UW is also hiding 21, 23, which is 2. 1 plus 23 is 24. 224. UW is not only the month and day, or the day left over, to the days left over the year, which is 212. It's also the year, which is 21 and 23. UW is 2, 2. 1 plus 23 is 24. 224. 212, 2024. And that's also what it's showing. Again, right in the middle of it is a mushroom and then a cloud. So right in the middle of this is a mushroom and a cloud on 2/12/2024 and 2/13. So In her face is a timeline. Not only is this whole thing 211 because it's the Heisman, the Lombardi Trophy. Okay, it starts from the bottom. Cloud, and I'm wow, I can't even talk. Abbreviating that with CD, cloud. Cloud literally equals 2/11/2024. If you break it all the way down like I just did earlier. And then black, it literally breaks down the whole word to 2/12/2024, 2/12/24. Okay, and that's shown by here, with these two right here. And then also this right here, backwards, remember I showed you this backward or upside down was also 2/12/2024. And then this mushroom is 2/13/2024. And then VD, Valentine's Day, is 2/14/2024. So Valentine's Day spells out to this exact day. Mushroom spells out to this exact day. Black spells out to this exact day. And cloud spells out to this exact day. And this is the timeline of destructions that's in here happening. Okay, this is crazy. So as far as this is a movie called The Peacemaker. And it literally, again, predictive programming, a Nuxels goes off in Eastern Europe. Okay. Very similar to, not too far from where Ukraine might be. It's a made-up town, but it's really close to where the Ukraine might be. They didn't show exactly, but it's all predictive programming, okay? It's called The Peacemaker with George Clooney and, Nicole Kidman, okay, before her plastic surgery. Anyway, she just looks totally different. This is crazy how much different. But anyway, so the Peacemaker is literally going to have that as well in this. But I'm going to show it in a different way. It's first and last letter code. So I can show it, spelled out to each letter like I've done before, but I'm going to show things differently here and there. There's first and last letter code, but in a different way as well. Okay, so watch this. So the first letter code is TP. T is 20, P is 16. Last letter code is E, 5, and R is 18. So watch. Now we're going to put these in order. We're going to go 20, but we're going to take the 0 away and put 2. And then 16, we'll bring the 16 down. And then we're going to go, so do these first. Sometimes you do the last first, and then the first letter is last. But in this way, it's showing it this way. So we got 216. By the way, this is 216 is Obama. He's born on the 216th day. And then 95 is 923, which is really his birthday, 221. I'll get into that later. Anyway, this is also showing the birth of the false peacemaker. And that's Obama 216, born on the 216th day. The year 923 is really remember I showed you earlier, 923 is 21st of February. So that's all in here too. Oh man, it's crazy. And he's the false peacemaker. He's going to make a false peace. That's all in here too. But anyway, so when I put these together, we have 2, 16, 5, and then 1 plus 8 is 9. Okay. Now we can get rid of this 9, and we're going to do that. Get rid of that 9. We have 2, 1 plus 6 plus 5 is 12. Again, 212. Peacemaker. Nuxels goes off in Eastern Europe. Right here, Eastern Europe, like in this movie, Peacemaker, and Peacemaker equals that in first and last letter code. Plus, let's do another type of first and last letter code that most people don't know and I haven't talked about for a while, is a compound word first and last letter code. Compound word first and last letter code ends up being the same exact thing if it's correct, and it's usually always correct if it's a real thing, and that's another way to confirm. See, sometimes you need confirmation. Confirmation gives you 2 or 3 or more other perspectives that confirm that what the initial one was. So in this one, we have the same numbers, but then we're adding. So we have 3 words: the, peace, and maker. Because peacemaker is 2 words: peace and maker. It is a compound word. So we have another first letter and we have another last letter. So now let's take that and see if it's any different. So now let's take that. Now let's go 2, 1 and 6, 13, and we got 5, 5, 5, 5, and then 8. 1 plus 8 is 9. Okay, now watch. Now we're going to get rid of the 9s. 6 plus 3 is 9. Get rid of that. Get rid of this 9. Now what do we have left? 2, and then 1, 1, 5, 5, or 1. 1 plus 1 plus 5 plus 5 is 12. 212 again. Confirming it with compound word first and last letter code. And now it's all over a lot of things. Okay, now this is crazy. I've shared a little bit of this before, but this is even more in-depth information the Lord's showing me about this. I found a couple years ago in the name Ukraine is Ray, which is a town in Ukraine, and then the word which right here, this Ray, and then we have right next to it. Sometimes it's identified as Ray Berezny or just Ray by itself. Usually it's a compound word, Ray Berezny or Ray by itself or Berezny, whatever. So, so that's a town in Ukraine, confirming that on this map here, right? It's right there, Ray, right there, Ray. See that, Ray? Ray, hey, what's up, Ray? By the way, it has to do with the ray of light coming off a nuke, like the ray coming off a sun. And I showed that it's in predictive programming in a lot of movies. It's behind people, like it's in Field of Dreams. It's an explosion behind this guy named Ray. It's also in Star Wars, the character Ray, and it's an explosion behind her, and she is the Ray. It's all versions of the Antichrist, and he's the ray of light coming from this explosion because he's Obama. He's Obama, the god of destruction. Again, there's little hints in there, and his name, and all kinds of stuff that people don't see and you think about. His name is Obama. Bomb. Okay, anyway. Clue. Teaching moment. Okay, anyway. So, Ukraine is Ray Nuke. Or Nuke Ray. Okay, it's right in your face, and you don't even know it. They're going to nuke Ray in that area. Okay. Now, I want to show you something else. So, again, that's right in here. Again, this is overlapping. So this is the Ukraine situation. I'm using yellow to represent their flag. This yellow and blue, but yellow is Ukraine situation, happens and reported, and then red equals the Valentine's time of the 13th and going to the 14th. And then there's overlapping 213 right here. See? Now watch. So Ray is going to be nuked. Okay, so it's Nuke Ray. Okay, it's in the name, but what's going to happen is Ray is going to be nuked. It's Ray nuked. Okay, now watch. Now we'll take that, but we'll take that idea, but we're just going to add the D to Ukraine. So just to show you, because it comes out a little. It's easier to show that way because that's the way it was formed. But that gives you a clue that Ray nuked. We need a D to actually have the action, and so that's I'm putting the D on the end of Ukraine. Okay, the end of Ukraine. So Ukraine. Okay, well, that makes sense. Now we're going to take the numbers right here. Boom, ready? Get rid of this. 5 and 4 is 9. And then 2 comes down. We have 1, 1, 1, 1, 8 comes down. And then we have 1 plus 9 is 10. Plus 14 is 24. What's that? 2, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 8 is 12. And 24. Ray nuked is 2, 12, 24. And I could spell it out, Ray, and then nuked, and do it this way. It's just a little bit easier to see, and it's in a little bit better order that way. And that's kind of a clue. When you do that way, I just did it. It's a clue. Just like I showed you with Kamala and Kamala, it was a clue on how to do it, what order, so you see it a little bit better, and those kind of things. When I showed you about some of the other things. So that literally, that lines up exactly. I mean, how is that possible? Are you seeing this? This is impossible if this wasn't planned. Ray nuked is 2, 12, 24. See? I'm showing you step by step how it is. Now look at this. This isn't just straight Gematria. English and reverse. The Lord showed me a few years ago how you can combine them together, and so the forward and the reverse you combine together, and you get a date, you get more information. So that exact day, this is how it's hyphenated. By the way, I found on the map, an American version of the map, it's spelled a little bit different. But when I went to I went to some websites that are Ukrainian, and when they translate their Ukrainian to English, this is how they spell it. So it's different than the normal English spelling, which is off. I went by their spelling, and that's this. Okay, so when I go by this and add, that's actually the town, the two town. What's a hyphenated thing? It's like if you were to go to the Tri-City area or the Bi-City area. It's two cities that become one in a sense. So that's the two towns that become one. For some reason they do it that way. It's probably because of the Gematria. So that town in Ukraine is, it just had to be 2024 because there's no 0, but that's fine. 2024. And then this is another way they do it, just to show you. I could show you other ways. These other things I just showed you, but that would be, again, a huge video. 2 6s. 2 6s is 12, and then 2. See that? The exact date that it's going to be attacked. That Ray will be nuked. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. And then also I wanted to show you in here just some symbolic things that, again, if you have some knowledge about it, it'll help you understand a little bit too. So a lot of people looking at this, they might not know. Some people know that or found this or know this. I think, as far as I know, I found it first, but I know some people have talked about it since, and maybe some people found it before me. I don't know. But I knew, as far as I know, I figured it out, what both of these are. There's two different artistic symbols that this lady and this boy represent. And the two different ones, there may be more than I know, but the two that I found, and then I remember, then I've heard some people talking about it, not too many, but after I found these, but maybe they got it from me, or maybe they found them. But as far as I know, the Lord showed it to me before anybody else, but I don't know. But one of the symbols of this, because she is sitting in a clamshell, and she is, and Stinky BO is Isis, or another, in another religion, it's, or another, in another, what do you call it, mythology, it's either Isis or it's Venus. Isis is Venus is blah, blah, blah. Semiramis is blah, all these different things. Okay, so birth of Venus. So she's in a clamshell. Venus is in a clamshell. Boom. That's birth of Venus. By the way, if I were to, I'm not going to do it right now, but you can do it yourself. I would encourage you to do it yourself. Take all these letters. You can even just write it on a piece of paper. Just space out each letter, BIRTHOFVE, and put the number of the word each underneath each one, and then just see how it works out to 214, 24, and you'll blow your mind. Get rid of the nines, do what I showed you to do, and you'll see how it works. It's crazy. So birth of Venus is what this is kind of showing. It's a combination. And why is it showing that? Because in that name is the date hidden. Again, it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle hidden within a puzzle, hidden within a timeline. It's like, it's crazy. And then this is also showing the sad mother with the dead boy is the Pietà. See, I knew these works of art already. Okay, and so when I'm looking at this, I have a reference of understanding, but then it's going back to their names. It's symbolic, of course, but it's not literally a woman that's going to be, weeping over a dead boy. The woman is not only Stinky BO, is also Trumple. And then the man's also Stinky BO and Trumple of the man. The boy is also Stinky BO and Trumple in several ways. But I'm not going to get into that right now. And they're both going to die, and one is going to come back to life, and the other one is not. And that's all here too. And I went through that. I'm not going to go through it right now. But this birth of Venus, literally, if you put all these in numbers, and then you work it down like I showed you, is 214, 20, 24. And if you take the Pietà, and you work these all in numbers, and you put it as 213. So literally, we have both attack days right here in both of the names of these works, and that's what it's showing you. Ultimately, because everything is Gematria. Everything. That's why you have all these funky symbols and movement. I mean, the whole reason why they did it all in animation is because it'd be hard. You couldn't do all this stuff live action. You couldn't have all these symbols in the background. And animation, computer animation, works perfectly for this, to show all these Gematria symbols and event things and that are hidden. It's a graphic puzzle that's a timeline. It's crazy. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But hopefully this makes sense what I'm saying. If I explain it well enough, I don't know. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it at this. But on part 2, I'm going to get into even more stuff about that show in media and stuff, hidden the birth of the Antichrist on 220 and 221, and it's in a lot of stuff. And I'm going to get into some of that stuff and some other things in part 2. So, for example, exactly what I said here earlier, that 23rd of September is hiding 21st of February. And then 23, that, Stinky BO is supposedly wearing, and I'm going to show that in the next video. He wore the number 23 when he was in basketball in high school. So did LeBron James. So did Michael Jordan, because they're talking about the Antichrist. They're all examples of him, Stinky BO, the 44th Prez. That what's hiding in there is 21st of February. 21st of February. Okay, and I'm gonna get into all that stuff in there. So that's in a lot of. I'm gonna show you some Simpsons stuff. That's in. Even the end is near. 21st of February. The Squid Game on the challenge on Netflix that just came out recently. Uncanny. The woman who won. Spoiler alert. If you want to watch this, okay. Spoiler alert. So keep that in mind. I'm just gonna say that the woman who won You know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till part two. It is. You will not believe it. It is. These are completely controlled. None of this is organic. The people, their numbers, everything. There's tons of numbers that are here in front of your face for all kinds of reasons because they're programming you. Oh my gosh, this 319. Oh, there's so much stuff for a lot of reasons, and I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna pretty much prove it. And then also, for example, like I showed you, 995 is hiding 923. Lightning McQueen, lightning the Queen, falling on 923. Remember, 923 is Willie. I just showed you earlier 239, which is 221. Lightning falling, lightning the Queen, falling. And I'm gonna get into all that in the next video. So anyway, so thank you. I made it through with my voice still intact. My voice is a little bit raspy right now. Thank you so much for everything, everybody who's ever helped this channel and given with positive comments, man, prayers. I cover your prayers for me and my family, and me and my wife and myself and my daughter and my son that's 10, and then my 4-year-old twins boys that are awesome as well. So I thank you so much for your prayers for them, for us. Thank you so much. By the way, evil is love backwards, and love's going to be turned into evil. This idea of love, the day of love, is going to be turned into evil. You'll see. And this is my best guess. Like I've said 1,000 times on all my videos, this is my best guess, and we'll see what happens. Okay, my task by the Lord is to present it to you, and then this might just be the one. We'll see. And then if it is, then he finally showed me. But eventually, I believe he will show me the exact thing that's going to happen, and when it happens, right before it happens, because it'll be sealed up until the very end, and then it will be revealed. For lots of reasons, he has to do that, and then he'll show you he was really speaking, and then you'll see when this stuff happens that he's been speaking through me. And then, he's been trying to warn people for a long time. And with me for 5.5 years, or 8.5 years with other people besides me being in YouTube and stuff, but personally and things. But anyway, beware of V-Day. Beware of V-Day, whatever year it is, but it looks like it's this year. And it looks like it's this exact time. But again, we'll see. Time will tell. And so thank you so much. If you're able to give as well, I'm going to ask at this point if you're able to give. I have a link in the description box below for PayPal, and also for Zelle Pay, which is free. PayPal costs money. Anytime you transfer money or whatever, even when you put it in, it costs. There's transfers and all that stuff. Zelle Pay is free. You sign up at zellepay.com for free. Whatever, it's an interbank transfer thing. Or you can send a P.O. box, whatever. All that details is in my description box below. And now that I can actually have links now, they're there. Also, in the bottom of those links, underneath the screen here, in the description box below, I'll also have the 3 links to downloadable documents like I've had for a long time. A lot of times I forget to mention it, but about multiple raptures and scriptures that are based on that, about the innocent children being taken on the 4th and 5th day, and the scriptures based on that, and then also other things like the 144,000 and all that, and how that's biblical being. A lot of people don't understand those subjects. A lot of Christians, they go by what churchianity teaches them and not what the Lord teaches specifically about those subjects, and how they've been kind of hidden by him, and he unlocks that understanding about certain things that are coming, that churchianity is not. They're in the dark, and they will be on the dark, and they will look to the 144 for enlightenment when it's time. And that's why they're scattered all over the world to enlighten during this time, and they will be here for a certain amount of time, and then will be taken off. And then the tribulation will start. So it's all God's grace and His proficiency, or His provision during this time, and all that. Yeah, His proficiency, yeah, His provision, whatever. Breaking the right word sometimes. Hey, this is all off the cuff. I'm moving by the Spirit the best I can. I make mistakes. I'm human, and that's it. That's how it is. So I'll leave it at that, and hopefully this blow your mind on how these exactly add up to the exact day, month, and year. I mean, literally not off by 1 digit. And I think this might be exactly it. And with this timeline I have, that's insane. That seems to lock it down to the exact day and month and year. That timeline of the celestial signs and all that kind of stuff, 777 days apart and all that. It's just incredible. So It looks like to me we're here, but we will see. Again, to me, it looks like a 99.99999% chance. But again, we don't know. And so, again, there is a chance that it might not happen. I'm going to say it that way as well. Because, who knows? I mean, I don't know what the will of the Lord is. Ultimately, he hints to me all these things. He shows me these incredible things. And then it looks like it's going to happen because he has to keep me going and on this path. And by the way, each time I do a new video, when it looks like it's going to happen, new people come aboard and new people understand that the Lord is working, is trying to warn people. And they, in turn, do what they need to do to prepare or to warn as well. So it's all his plan. It's his process, whether you understand it or not. Okay? I understand it to some degree. A lot of people don't. And it'll all come out in the wash eventually. So anyway, again, leave it at that. This is Exalted Lamb 1. God bless you. Over and out.